Welcome to Stitching Spencer. I'm Spencer, and this is my Floss tube where I talk about the crafty things that I've been getting up to, primarily cross stitch, although occasionally some other stuff. We're about to be interrupted by my sweet cat if she can figure out how to make it all the way over to the desk. I wanted to say hello to anybody who's finding me just now, and say thank you to anybody who has stuck around, because for those of you who are new, the last time I filmed was June 2nd. Today is October 13th. And it has been a hectic season and a half there. I've got lots to talk about, not as much stitching as I'd prefer. But I want to show you what I'm up to, try to get back on a better track, and get back into the swing of things. So I'm going to go ahead and overview the sections that I'm planning on doing today. This won't always be a part, but I want to both let everybody know and kind of keep an outline for myself a little bit more clearly about what we're going to be doing today. So after this quick overview, I'm going to jump into the enablers corner, where I do a couple of shout outs / tags of floss tubers that I've been watching, that I enjoy watching, that if you for some reason aren't already and you would like to, I think you should check out. I, at least at the moment, try to kind of sort of have themes with who I'm shouting out, because there's so many phenomenal people out there. So I do have a theme for today, and I'll talk about it when I get there. And them going to, instead of going through my WIPs in chronological order because it's been such a long time, I'm actually going to overview the WIPGO goals for the months that I've been gone, because most of the stitching I've done has primarily just been WIPGO themed. There's been a couple of extra things, but most of it's just been WIPGO, and I'm even not 100% on those. After I finish WIPGO, I'll go ahead and talk about anything that I didn't talk about in WIPGO. I have a couple of new starts that weren't WIPGO specific, but I'll talk about those. Then I'm going to do a quick hopes, dreams, plans for the future kind of thing. And then, although it is much belated, I'm going to do a very quick StitchCon recap, because the last time I filmed was prior to StitchCon 2024. And I will recap just quick few things, nothing crazy about that. I know many of you have seen it both thousands of times before or many months past. I'm going to try to have everything chunked out in chapters. You're welcome to skip anything that doesn't appeal to you. After the StitchCon / during StitchCon, I'm going to go through haul. Most of my haul is StitchCon specific, which is part of the reason that I wanted to talk about it a little bit. And then I have a couple of extra things that I've received from a good friend, so I'm going to pop that stuff up there. I do have a quick crochet update. For those of you who've been watching, I've been working on a blanket for a dear friend. I did get that done, not only finished, but in time for her birthday. So I have pictures of the finished project that I'm going to be able to put up. And then I'll just go over what's been going on in my life for anybody who wants to stick around. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into that enablers corner. Like I said, I've got mostly a theme for today, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about them, why I'm talking about them, the general theme that I've got, and then I'll make sure that they're tagged in the description box, so that way you can go check them out if for some reason you haven't already. The first two channels that I want to talk about actually is Andrew over at The Runner Stitcher, and Yoshi, who has a channel that I'm pretty sure is called The Cross Stitch Guy. Like I said, I'll have them both tagged below. And the reason that I'm shouting them out in my theme today is because they are hosting the My First Mira SAL. So I did start a Mira at StitchCon. It was a little fun thing with me and a couple of my table mates. So I always knew I wanted to shout these two guys out because they're hosting that SAL. I'm pretty sure that they're both doing their first Miras this year, and that's why they started the SAL. But they opened it to anybody, you know, who wants to participate because it's a new Mira or whatever else. If you haven't seen them, they are fantastic. Two separate channels, like I mentioned. Andrew the Runner Stitcher does a lot of Fancy Ladies. He's got some other things going on. I have been out of the floss tube game for a while because my stitchy bug went away and everything else has been crazy. So I haven't seen anything recently. It's on my to-do list to catch up, but had a phenomenal time watching him over the last many months. Earlier this year, all of those things. He runs In Case You Can't Guess. So he talks about his training, his marathons. He's got the cutest tiny little chihuahua that he has pictures of sometimes, that he's been stitching a piece that's based off of him. And then Yoshi, also phenomenal. I'm pretty sure that the Mira that he's doing, if I remember correctly, he's actually doing a color conversion on, which is just so cool to go into that with that both desire to make it more his style and confidence to go ahead and do that. It's looking great. That's definitely something that's looking amazing. And like I said, I haven't been watching recently, so I haven't seen recent updates, but in addition to his Mira, he's got some other great pieces. I love watching both of their videos. There's two other channels that I want to shout out here. The first is Cross Stitch the Globe, which almost no one who's watching me here hasn't at least heard of them. If not, has been following them for quite a while, possibly longer than I have. That is Allison and Stephanie, for those that don't know. And beyond the fact that they're phenomenal and that they've got some great resources and it's really fun to watch them banter and they work on everything under the sun, they did a giveaway a while back. Like I said, I think it was before my last June video, of patterns that they have or things that they have duplicates of or other things. And they did a giveaway for a Mira that I thought was great. I entered it. I did not win the giveaway, but it is a currently in print chart, and I went, I want to stitch that. That's the one that I want to do. So because of their giveaway that they offered, I was able to find a Mira that spoke to me. That was something that I was really excited about. And I went ahead and purchased it and kitted it up. And so I just wanted to extend a heartfelt thank you. Just because of that giveaway and because of the stuff that they offer, I was able to see one that I was excited about and go ahead and grab it. So that was really, really cool. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, they're phenomenal. I have somebody who started stitching in my life, and they were like, do you have any recommendations on like how to do it? And I found a couple of articles, and I was sending a couple of videos, and I did send some of their like intro to stitching videos their way. So I think that's really cool. The last person that I want to shout out here is Hallie over at Stitching Big Things with Hallie. She primarily likes to stitch large, full coverage pieces, hence her name, Stitching Big Things with Hallie. I love that she's been doing it. She has a system. She keeps track of things. She's been tracking things like on pen and paper for the last couple of years now. Like, it's just her system. I think that's really cool. She shares that information along with her goals. She talks about her big pieces that are full coverage and her big pieces that aren't full coverage. She's got a lot of experience with that. Like I said, I think she's got a couple of finishes. She's got one that's slated for a finish this year. She's working her way closer. She's got it on one frame, and she can get all of the rest of her stitches are in that one frame section. Like I said, I haven't been watching. She might have finished it or is really, really close, because I know she was hoping for a finish before the holidays hit. And I'll have fun stories specifically about why I'm including her in my StitchCon recap, but fantastic channel. If you haven't seen her, I think that it's wonderful to listen to her talk. I love seeing all the things that she's doing. She's got some grown kids, and she goes and visits them and travels close to grown kids. I think she's got one still at the high end of high school. She's got a couple that are out in college and stuff. It's so nice to talk about her, to listen to her talk about her family, how much she loves them, and see all of the stuff that she can get done, because it's super duper cool. So that's my Enablers Corner. Like I said, too many fantastic people to shout out. My hope is to continue to just keep tagging great channels as I maybe consistently actually make these videos. On to some actual stitching for those of you who'd like to see that, considering that we're a little while into this and we haven't gotten that far yet. Like I said, I'm planning on going through these, my progress primarily by WIPGO calls, because like I said, that's most of what I've worked on these past couple of months. For those of you that are new and don't know, at the beginning of April, I broke my foot at work and was out of work, had to have surgery. It was a whole thing. There was a lot of healing. So there was just not a lot of energy. And then even I was still healing. I was in a boot at StitchCon. I was able to walk, but I was in a boot. So there's just been a lot going on. And the stitchy bug decided to be kind of MIA for most of it. It happens. We know. So WIPGO recaps. So I just have one board with like one project listed per each square. So I just got 2 calls for all of the last couple months. I did meet most of those goals. So I'll be able to have some nice progress to show. June, if you watched my last video, I was talking about my WIPGO calls that I was going to work on at StitchCon, which I did do. The first WIPGO call was the Pixel Dragon SAL, and pardon if you hear some page flipping. I do have handwritten notes for some of these things. So the project is the Pixel Dragon Adventure SAL. I'll pop up what the finished project is supposed to look like if you haven't seen it at any time recently. It is designed by Flossie Fox Shop over on Etsy and on Insta. It was initially released in fall of 2023. I'm pretty sure she's actively releasing a new one right now. It looks really cool over on Instagram. The final release was in spring of 2024. I am forever behind. That is how I approach all of my SALs. They're sometimes start-alongs. They're not even always start-alongs. I just go, I like that project. I'm gonna go stitch it. And then I start it, and then it sits, but it's fine because I'm gonna get there someday. And I love working on it. I am definitely a process stitcher. For those of you who watch Cross Stitch the Globe, I like to stitch to stitch. Obviously, I would like most of the finished projects of the things that I'm working on. I'm excited about that, but that's not my goal. I don't need to get there to enjoy what I'm working on. I also do a lot of gifts for people, so same thing. I enjoy putting all of that time and energy into something that I know somebody else will hopefully enjoy. Back to Pixel Dragon. I am stitching it on a 16 count Opal Ada. It's the colorway Wisteria by Mystic Fabric. I'm stitching 2/1 with all of the called for DMC. I am still working on release 2. In addition to showing the finished, I may pop up just releases 1 and 2 so you can kind of see where those breaks are. And then the WIPGO goal that I had going into it for this year was to either color complete an outline, because the way that the project is there's 3 main outline colors and they're fully around all of the objects that are in it throughout the piece, or depending on where I was in my stitching, fully color in 3 of the motifs. So I already had all of the outlines completed going into this month, so I chose to focus on working on the completes. The other thing I will have put up at this point, if not already, is where I was going into this month. So that's where I was, and here's where I am. So I'm gonna pop it this way. As you can see, all of release 1 is complete. All of release 2 is getting pretty darn close. I did go ahead and finish coloring in the horn. I finished coloring in the book. The book was not finished. It was mostly finished in my last photo. I did like these tiny little stars. I did fill in some of these leaves. I did finish this pink dragon, I'm pretty sure. Or it's almost completely done. I might be missing 1 color in the bed there. And then I was working pretty heavily on this dragon. It's not fully finished, but it's getting pretty close. I'm kind of color completing as I'm working on this, which is why like this flower is mostly done, but like that extra blue that's going to be up there is over here too. And I wanted to get the white of this dragon done and like the leaves of his wings done. So loving this. Still think it's super fun. Like I said, one day I'll finish the whole thing, but for now, it's a put away. It might come back out. But like I said, my big goals for most of these projects this year was to just hit whatever the WIPGO goal was, which is why I was excited that I was able to put most, if not all, of my WIPs on my WIPGO board. So when I made my goals, my goal was, if this is the only thing that I do on this project this year, what do I need to do to be happy? So I was pretty excited about that. So that was my progress on the Pixel Dragon Adventures SAL by Foxy Floss Shop. The next one that I had called was the Outlander Bookshelf, which is a design by Taylor and Cromwell. It's gonna look like this when it's finished. I'll pop up where I was as well. It is stitched on 40 count linen, and the colorway Doris, dyed by Grace Notes. I'm stitching it 2/2. Yep, 2/2, with the called for DMC. My goal with this, because it's both such a big piece and the project is big as well, my WIPGO goal for it was to stitch either a full motif or at least 1.5% on the project. Yes, 1.5% or a full motif. So you'll have seen at this point where I was. Oh. And that is where I'm at. I did go ahead and finish that full Dragonfly in Amber motif, which was, yes, already started, but there is a lot of stitching there. I'm pretty sure that I hit the 1.5% as well for my goal, because I didn't want it to feel cheap that I finished the motif that I had already started. So yeah, that's where I am on that. Really thrilled to see that progress. If I get more consistent, I will share percentages and numbers on projects that I have percentages and numbers on, but I just really wanted to make sure that this got filmed rather than waiting another who knows how many weeks, because life is busy, guys. It's busy. Anyway, so that was June's WIPGO calls. July's WIPGO calls were to work on my Eeveelutions cat cafe. So I'll be popping up some photos of what it looks like, what it's going to look like, what it currently looks like, while I try to make sure that my needle minders don't fall off. I love needle minders, both to hold my needles and to look at pretty things. Sometimes I use it to help hold my fabric. When I'm working on bigger pieces, like on the hoops, I love a grime guard, but I don't always have grime guards. I just bought some Nurge hoops, and I don't have grime guards for all my Nurge hoops. So anyways, got lots of cute needle minders. And this, my goal was to complete an Eeveelution, which, as you can see, I did. I didn't want to just focus on the one that I had already started, plus I just wanted to move around a little bit, so I did go ahead and finish Sylveon, for those of you who know Pokemon, and I think worked a little bit on some other things, like that string with the little Pokeball hanging down and all of these other things, but I think she came out real cute. Very proud. And again, excited about that progress. Even if it's all that I work on for the rest of the year, which at this point feels a lot more realistic, considering it's somehow the middle of October. What a strange time. We're doing all of the holiday shopping and projects and stuff. I live a pretty far way away from the rest of my family, so my mom tries really hard to have our holiday stuff figured out sooner, because we tend to get together earlier in the year to celebrate. She likes to try to drop off our presents, so I've been full in the Christmas swing of things, which is really fitting, because the other call that I had for the month of July, which is also fun, because who doesn't love a good Christmas in July call, is the Woodland Storytime stocking by Pusilla. Oh, hold on. I'm just finding the right page in my notes. Not that page. I'm off by one. Okay, Woodland Storytime. It's a stocking kit by Pusilla. I'll have what it should look like, where I was. I'm stitching for it, called for with all of the kit materials. This is needlepoint. It is not cross stitch. For those of you who don't know, I'm making these stockings for my cousins. I have one that is fully finished. I have one that is getting really close to a finish. I still have to backstitch, and I have to do like one color. It's the big color on the outside, but like one color left. And then this one is the one that I'm least along on. I did put this one on my WIPGO call twice this year, and it did get called both in July, and it is a current October call. So I had a lot of progress anyways, and now I'm working on it again to meet that October goal. So without further ado, here is where I am on Woodland Storytime. I am going to start way back here, so that way you can just appreciate. For those of you who don't know, needlepoint is on a printed canvas. I'm a little too compulsive to just stitch where the colors are on the canvas, which is why as we get closer, you'll see that it's off from the coloring. I follow the chart that it comes with as a counted cross-stitch chart. So I count all of the threads that I'm supposed to be stitching to make sure that I don't miss like the small detail pieces. So don't worry about it being off. It'll be fully covered by the time we're done. So my goal in July was to either fully finish 2 animals or to do like background stitching of like 600, because most of this chart, as you can see, is actually animals, with the caveat that Santa is also an animal. And then my October call is again to do 2 animals worth. So when I started, which you will have been able to see, I had like the puma and or mountain lion completely finished. I had half of the raccoon finished, and I think the blue jay finished already, plus a good amount of like Santa's lap in the book, because I kind of started with the book and spread out from there. So that's what I had done. I brought up over here, got a ton of this tree done. I tried to get to the tippy top of the stocking. I got pretty close if I did not actually hit it. So I got most of that taken care of. I'm still, like, I've got a gap. This light blue still needs to be filled in. The white's there, the greens are there, but that light blue still needs to get filled in. But I finished the owl. I finished the raccoon face. I added a lot more to Santa. Again, beard not fully filled in. None of what I'm touching right now has been stitched, despite the fact that it kind of looks like it is. I did finish the entire bunny. Worked on the hat. I did come up here and finish this cardinal just the other day, so that's one of my animals for October. I'm working pretty heavily on the deer right now. That's kind of my second goal, plus I might pull it out and work on some other stuff. Plus, if I've got thread and I'm going, I carry the thread down. So, like, this dark brown color goes into this little ear thing, so that little bear has the start of an ear. So yeah, that's where we're at. You will see some more progress on this because, like I said, I have not finished my October WIPGO call on it, and I do really like them once I get started on them. It comes together really pretty, so you'll be seeing this one again the next time, whenever that may be that I film. We'll see if the camera can refocus as I work on getting... Oh, I have a system and I forgot to follow it. Work on getting the next thing out. At this point, we are on to... Oh, I'm skipping. My projects are falling down, so I'm losing what I worked on. So, that was July's WIPGO calls. August WIPGO calls, the first one was to work on the Middle Earth Stitch Your Own Adventure, which either has... Oh, here, I can just look at my notes because I did write this down. The final chapter for the Middle Earth Stitch Your Own Adventure, which I am nowhere near stitching, releases November 1st. So there is a top section, a bottom section, and 6 chapters. I am working on the top section. I'm actually working on the top section that's like the same for all of the people. There's a tree in the corner. I've had the tree finished. You'll have seen where I was last. I do not have a design photo for this because it's a stitch your own adventure, so you get to pick and choose. As I choose the chapters, I'll pull out the design elements for the chapters, but I haven't chosen. And if I ever mock up my Hobbit house, I will put that up too, but I haven't designed that yet either. So anyways, I will have shown you where I was at. That tree that I had finished, there were a couple of different color options for the tree. We did fall. I say we because my husband is a much larger Lord of the Rings fan than I am. So he's kind of helping with the design elements. I'm stitching it all, but he's helping. So my goal for this was to do at least 500 stitches. I didn't want to put a percentage on it because it was still releasing, especially at the time that I made the WIPGO board, because technically only the intro had been out when I made the WIPGO board. January 1st was the release of chapter 1. Still terribly behind, but once again, I don't mind. So here's where I'm at. Like I said, tree was already finished. I know that I worked, all of the steps are new. A lot of that garden fill-in was either started or not even done at all. So a lot of the extra bushes over here, some of the greens. I know that I didn't have this cart completed, nor did I have the wheelbarrow finished. But that's where I was with that. I know, it's not a lot. It will continue to be a WIP for a while, but that's okay. That project, which I did not mention, the fabric is 32 count even weave shades of gray by Mystic Fabrics. She specifically designed a couple of neutral shades for this Stitch Your Own Adventure. I don't know whether that Shades of Gray got renamed at any point, but at least when I purchased it, it was called Shades of Gray. I am stitching it 2/2 with the called for DMC. I am following the pattern primarily designed by Cunning Cross Stitch, which is Stuart Cunningham. He has a website. All of his designs on his website, or at least all of the Stitch Your Own adventures, stitch-alongs, they're all free on his website. There's a Facebook group where people chat and talk about things, but he has a website. I will be adding in some extra little bits. My good friend Kitty designs cats that she's been putting into this project. She is much further along than I am because she focuses her time and energy on projects instead of bouncing around like a little butterfly. But I'm going to be stealing some of her cats as I work on those projects. The next call for August was working on a piece that I have designed myself. I'll pop up, like I said, where I was, what it looks like, all of those things. I call this project Different. It's just a quote that I got from a friend when we were talking about identities and pride and things like that. So the quote reads, turns out my different has a name. I call this, like I said, my pride piece. Because when I figured out some of the pride identities that I identified with, I designed this piece. So it's got that quote, and then it's got my pride flags on it, for those of you who can't see or don't know. And my goal for this was to stitch half of a pride flag. Which actually, as you saw before, I didn't even have all of the words done, so I did prioritize getting the words done before I did anything else. And then I jumped into the flags, which is straight lines of stitching, which is both nice and boring. I thought about doing a full straight half of a flag, but then I was so tired of doing the black on black that's up here. I went, nope, we're just gonna get the black on black done. We're just gonna finish that. So I finished the whole strip of the black on black, and then, did the math to figure out how many stitches was a half of a flag and spread out the colors so I could at least see all four of my colors together up here. I designed this whole project, so I picked these colors. I'm really proud. And I've got the other flag down here. I did start just the one color down here. So once again, unlikely to come back out for the rest of the year. Really proud of that progress, making sure the words are finished. I will backstitch them eventually. that I've got the flags. You can see that black on black in person really well, but I haven't decided if I'm going to backstitch the flags or not. So, designed by me, as I mentioned, on just black Aida. I never figured out what the count was. I haven't like sat down with a ruler. I've had it for forever. So 2/1 on the Aida with the colors I picked out myself. Now we're moving on to September. September is where I have fallen off the WIPGO track, which is fine. I'll give my camera a little bit longer while I pop up pictures of the first one that I worked on. This is a Disney Dreams collection, art by Thomas Kincaid, The Little Mermaid, back when MCG Textiles was still making the kits. So I have had this in my possession for quite a while. Like I said, I will be popping up photos both where I was and what it's going to look like. That company went out of business, I'm pretty sure. So these kits are no longer available for purchase from stores. There are online resales of both the full kits and just the patterns on eBay. They tend to go for quite a lot. And the kit fabric tends to be poor. It's a project that has a lot of like partial stitches, and like they give you Aida. My piece of Aida was not cut very well. I like did a center start at the beginning because that's what I had been doing for a really long time, which should be fine, especially for a kit piece. But even though I like folded and like did the center start pretty darn dead center, it's not very well balanced. Maybe I folded it wrong. Maybe they just give me a poor piece of Aida. I wouldn't stitch this on Aida anyways because of all of the partial stitches. The thread is fine. There's conversions to DMC in the online groups that like help you figure it out if you ever want to go that route. But I think the artwork is really pretty. I'm really excited. After I started center, I did go up to the top corner, which you can see in the piece. It's 18 count Aida. I'm stitching it 2/1 as called for with all of the kit materials. My goal for this was to get, I think, 1%. Yes, 1% complete from where I was. Obviously, I was more than 1% when I started. So, obviously, you can see my tiny little center start down there, but focusing up on the top left corner is where I like to stitch when I do stitch with a corner. And I bounced around a lot. I'm kind of working, I can do this up to here. I'm kind of working diagonals. You can see I've parked some. It's not like an always park. It's just like if I'm tired of working on it or it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, I've parked some. Mostly I'm a pick a thread and finish it. So far I've picked threads that literally finish. Like I don't even have like a dangle to cover at the end. I've just picked colors that go all the way. But that's the other thing. Like I'm not doing a specific like block by block. I'm not specifically like when I say I'm going in diagonals, I'm kind of starting in the diagonal. I'm like, what diagonal hasn't been finished yet? Pick one of those colors and then drag it through. It's not like do a block and then park everything for later. Maybe one day. Not right now. This is a paper chart. I did convert it to something that is pattern keeper compatible, mostly considering the fact that it's got a ton of half stitches and quarter stitches. But I did it manually on WinStitch. I like coded in every single stitch from the whole project. But anyways, this is the project that I have and the progress that I have. You can see I started in on King Triton's Trident. You can kind of see his like arm and stuff there. Worked on that rainbow a lot more, the clouds that are up in the sky. It's really pretty. I love working on it. It's a bear to work on. but I do love working on it. So that's that. The other WIPGO call for September that I did not complete is one of the stamps. For those of you that are new, I bought a set of stamps from a designer on Etsy called Cute Patterns by Maria. Like I said, I bought multiple. It's a whole pile. Ooh, those are my magnets sticking together. We'll deal with that later. That's a problem for future me. She had a sale. I bought like 10 or 11 patterns. I bought wood cutouts to do them on. I have fully stitched one. I have fully stitched and finished one. I have fully stitched another. I'm just working on the back stitching and it is almost finished. My call was to do 50% of a stamp. At the time when it called, I had a lot of stuff going on and I didn't want to kit something up. But I also haven't finished the one that I'm technically still carrying. But I didn't want to just work on the back stitching. I'm not a backstitch fan anyways, and because it's on wood, it has a tendency, I tend to break my needles. So finished the one that's currently going, still on my to-do list. Actually start a new one and get 50% of the way through, still on my to-do list. I do have a WIPGO call that has not been called yet, but it is completed. So I have a little bit of a buffer there. Additionally, the other October call that I have, which I have yet to get to, let me just figure out where that is. My other October call, I will talk about a little bit in plans and hopes and dreams, because it's a hope and dream and plan. I also don't know that I'm going to get it done by October, but I would like to get it done before the end of the year. So here we are. That was all of the WIPGO calls and progress that I've made over the last couple of months. Like I said, my other October WIPGO call is the Woodland Storytime, so I'm working on that stocking more. The other things that I've worked on, which I guess I can go ahead and talk about. We'll come back to that one. I had 2 new starts. Kind of right around StitchCon time, and I have not worked on them much since StitchCon because I've been focused on other WIPGO calls, but I had 2 new starts. And they are My First Mira, and then the vote As If SAL. So I'll pull them both out, talk about them both some, go from there. So, the Mira that I am doing, I'm going to get it on the board first, while I talk, and then we'll decide whether I'm going to, put up the picture. Like, I've got all of the stuff over here. So, I am doing a Midsummer Night's Fairy. It's a Mirabilia, Nora Corbett, which I know that she releases stuff under her name alone that doesn't have like the actual Mirabilia, but this is listed as a Mirabilia. I am stitching this also on Shades of Grey by Mystic. This is the 32 count linen. I got the linen as well when I was trying to decide what to do my Stitch Your Own Adventure on. So 32 count linen, which is just beautiful. I'm really excited about it. I did do a floss drop, tried to make sure that I wasn't going to have too much color clash. I'm stitching it 2/2 called for with either the fancy floss or the DMCs or the beats. I may have put in what it's going to look like, especially because I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I'll go ahead and hold this up as well. We'll see if we can get the camera to focus. So this is what it's supposed to look like. You've got a pretty little fairy leaning over log with her little wand. So yeah, that's what she's gonna look like. Like I said, this is my part of the My First Mirror SAL. I started it while I was at StitchCon, which is a super fun adventure. So as you can see, I did do a center start. I'm working on that dress right there in the center. It's coming along beautifully, I feel. I do like how it looks on this fabric, and then like rarely is like that center part of that dress actually going to be alone against the edge of the fabric. There's some back stitching, and plus I still think that it looks okay on this fabric. I know that like from back here you're like, where is it? But like, it's there. I had many problems. Paper charts at StitchCon. I'm not a paper chart girly. Mirrors were new to me. It was busy. I was hanging out with people. One of the colors was looking terrible, and I was like, what's wrong? It was supposed to be a blend. I was stitching it not as the blend. There was a lot of miscounting and tearing out and restarting, and it looks great so far, I feel. And I'm still super excited to work on it. I'm not burned by that. I've just been focusing on other things. But so that's my start on my Midsummer Night Fairy. Like I said, I've got all of the fancy things, the beads, the Krynic. It's all hanging out in here. So that was that. Because it's paper chart, I will not be having percentage completes even when I do share that information, because I'm not counting that specifically. I will sometimes have stitch counts. I am part of a stitching group on Facebook called Fandom Stitching Central. We just announced the theme for next year. There's 2 themes. I'm not sure how that's working. They haven't told us yet, whether they're like run in conjunction or if it's like half the year, half the year, or what. Alas, they have stitch counts, and a lot of times even on my paper charts I will count how many stitches I do. I just haven't been recently because I haven't been participating there recently. Life's been busy, y'all. The last project that I started is my Vote As If SAL. This was the Notorious Needle Stitch Along. It is fully released at this point. Of course, that means I have barely the first release completed. But I will go ahead and pop up the finished version for you to look at, since it's all there and you can see it all. I am also stitching this on Shades of Grey 32 count linen. I actually cut this piece off from what I'm stitching my mirror on. Zigzagged it, had a great fun time. All by Mystic Fabrics. I'm stitching this 2/2. There was a DMC conversion released by Notorious Needle. She did partner with Dying for Sass for a color pack of Floss, which I'm pretty sure is still available on Etsy. Although, despite doing the DMC conversion, there was one specific color that Notorious Needle thought she couldn't match very well, and it was the Pirate colorway. So I did go ahead and buy Pirate for use for later. That one's the Pirate. So I did buy that specific colorway, but I went with the DMC Floss conversion otherwise, because I wanted to do the project and it was very important to me, but I was somewhat on a budget and didn't want to spend a lot on the fancy floss or the fancy fabric, because she partnered with Witch's Gardens Craft, I'm pretty sure, for fabric as well. Regardless, that's what it's supposed to look like. So this is where I'm at. I have the first symbol done, and I have most of the second symbol done. I don't remember whether it's all this color. As you saw from the finished product, it goes in diagonal bands, and I personally cannot remember, because I didn't get to look at that before picture, whether this heart is all this color down and I just haven't finished it, or if another color comes in. I'm pretty sure it's all this color down. Anyways, so that's all I've done. I had high hopes of like actually vaguely keeping up with this more, but like I said, I came back from StitchCon. There was a lot of changes happening. I was going back to work after my injury. There were other things happening, so I did not work very much on anything that was not WIPGO calls. I've been doing other stuff. So that is the vote as if SAL. I will have percentages for that eventually because it is all in Pattern Keeper, and I'll be able to have all that info. So that is my whips and new starts. That is the stuff I have been doing since June 2nd, stitch-wise. It doesn't seem like a lot, and here we are. Well, it seems like a lot and doesn't seem like a lot. That's kind of how life be a lot of times. Back to the things. We're on to hopes and dreams. How exciting. Hopes and dreams, obviously, at least right now, are very stitchy oriented. I might talk about some life stuff in life, but my stitchy oriented hopes and dreams. I would like to continue to work on WIPGO and try to catch up. Overall, I've actually done a pretty good job this year for my first year. Everything up through, what was it? August is fully completed. September I have one outstanding. October I have the ones that I'm working on outstanding, but I do have that one carryover that has not been called yet but is completed because it had a timeline. So I have hopes that will actually continue to work out. Hoping to get my stitchy bug back. I've got a lot of stuff going on that I need to do, like around the house and some other changes, but in some of my more free time I'm hoping to actually put a needle to a thread, have a fun time with that. I have a few new starts planned. Like I said, I want to get one of those stamps started, try to get halfway through. I've got at least one other that I can think of off the top of my head, but I've got like a couple. I actually have a couple that are in my WIPGO, I think, left for the end of the year. I think I've got 2 new starts for WIPGO. And a couple of kits and things, so I've got some opportunities there. Maybe I'll do a 12 by 12. Maybe I'll do a couple of new starts then and some other things, or just work on projects. That's far in the distance hopes and dreams. Although, who knows, maybe you won't see me until then. I do hope to film more consistently, which I know I've been saying, but again, I've had some changes come up, so hopefully there will be a little bit better consistency with that. At minimum once a month, that's kind of my goal to shoot for. It'd be cool if it happens more often than that, but there's definitely no promises. I do plan on doing a WIP parade at some point in the winter season. My Floss tube anniversary comes up, I think, at the beginning of December, so maybe we'll do it early. Who knows? I also have a local stitchy meetup that I try to go to that meets up once a month. I've got a local friend. Actually, I have a couple of local friends that we stitch together, so sometimes we meet up outside of stitchy meetup, which is also nice. But those are my big hopes and dreams that are stitchy related. Get this video edited, uploaded, so that way we can actually have something up on YouTube again. The only other thing I needed to mention here is the other WIPGO call that I have for October. So I did have my Supernatural, my 2020 Supernatural Stitch Along that I put on here to get called. This project is, by all definitions, complete. All of the main design has been finished already. There's nothing left to stitch with that in mind. Despite that, my little brain says, no, you can do more. So here's where we're at. This is what we got. I do not believe that this is available on Etsy anymore. It was by Geeky Stitchery Crafts on Etsy. It's called the Supernatural Series Finale SAL, but like I said, I am not convinced that this is available. The fabric and a lot of the floss was hand dyed by somebody who, like, they put this together in a little group. There was a whole Facebook group. It was a great fun time. I have a desire to design some wings for up here on these two sides. And I have some fancy floss that I'm going to stitch them with because I kind of like imagine them to be like that kind of like raven, glossy, like maybe a little bit iridescent, mostly black, deep dark blue. So I've got fancy floss already bought for that, but I need to design. I'm sure I'm going to take inspiration from a couple of different like types of elements, but I want those at the top. And there's, you know, some theme about some rainbows, so I have a feeling that I might be doing some like back stitching with like the standard Roy G. Biv rainbow on top of them. That is technically my WIPGO call for October, to design and stitch those. I want to get this project out of my WIP bin and figure out how I want to finish it by the end of the year. There's a slight chance that I may decide to add some more quotes to it. I haven't decided that yet, so like I don't know that I'm gonna like fully finish it in any way. But like I want to call it done. So it may not happen in October, but design the wings, get them stitched. Very much on the goals. So that is my final hope, dream, plan, thing that's coming up. Next that I've got on my little agenda here is to, do my StitchCon recap, guys. It's only been many months, but here we are. Like I said, I know that this has been covered many a time by all of your faves. I'm not going to go into anything with super like big detail. There's just a couple of things that I want to talk about, some really cool stuff I want to show off, some shout outs I want to make, and then I'll move on to crochet and life stuff. So let's see. Went to StitchCon 2024. I was there. I go with my mom. So that was really, really fun. We get to hang out. We get to do stitchy stuff together. We met up with 2 of our table mates from 2023. So we all hung out. That was really, really fun. We met some new table mates as well. It's been so long. I do not remember their names. They were pleasant to hang out with. I got to destash some of the things that I had that I didn't need. One of my table mates took at least one of them. That's cool. Because the 4 of us had met and we knew each other, we made table gifts specifically with that in mind. Obviously, we made table gifts to share with the whole table. We didn't just keep it exclusive to our little group, but we did decide to do table gifts. So Levi, who is one of the people that we hang out with, he does not have a floss tube. He's big in the knitting world. So his crafty Instagram is WTF Knitting. He is a joy to hang out with. I was working on Lady of the Flag. He's just got beading left on her. So he's almost done with that. That's what he did a lot of the weekend. He worked on some other stuff too. He made some really fun little things. So he made these cute little like trash can or jar container things that hang on the side of the table. So like this is like it feels like a tile. And it sits on the table, and then it comes with this sandbag to help counterbalance. So like the sandbag, it velcros on here, it counterbalances, but you can use this as a pin cushion or a needle sharpener ish. I mean, like it's walnuts, so like it's not going to work fantastically for the sharpening piece, but like first off, beautiful. He was like doing this like the night before StitchCon. So amazing, especially on a pinch. And then it's all attached, and like when you don't need it, you can kind of sort of like pop it all together, and it's been hanging on my desk. I might put it over by my couch and keep some of my stitchy stuff in it, but I didn't want to forget to talk about it, so I had to leave it over here this whole time. So that's what Levi made us. That's fantastic. And then Melissa, who I love dearly, she's fantastic. She was also there and has been doing project bags. So she brought me some project bags that were specific to projects that she knows I've been working on. But she brought some other ones for, you know, people that she didn't know as well. So that was really, really cool. So she knows I've been doing the Arctic Animal Stitch Along. So she brought a whole pile because she couldn't decide what she liked the best for her Arctic Stitch Along. But so she brought a whole pile of Arctic Animal Stitch Along bags and let me choose my favorite. And they're beautiful vinyl front with like quilting in the back. I have these projects in them. I just took them out to show off the bags. So, she did that. She knows that I have like 32 supernatural projects. So she gave me one that's this. It has this real cute like orange and red, yellow and red zipper up here. She did that. She also said that she had one for me for my Pride piece. She just hadn't finished it. So, after StitchCon was over, a little while later, she conveniently also, we're going to veto away from StitchCon and go a little bit into haul, sent me along a Pride bag for the Pride piece that I'm working on. So I get to put that in here with this lovely red in the background. And I'm sure that I'll do other Pride pieces in the future. And even if I don't, this bag is beautiful. So I have that. And she also was going through her stash and sent me this beautiful cut of Picture This Plus 14 count Ada. Excuse me. That's, oh, I can't read the tag. It's upside down. I think this is the colorway Whim. WHIM. So sent me that. That's beautiful. I have no idea what I want to do on it yet, but I'm sure I will do something. So that was so thoughtful because you aren't required to bring table gifts. A lot of people do. She brought multiple bags and then themed them to projects that she knew I was working on, which was just, she's a great human being. So that was like some of the gifts, some of the stuff. I might have gotten things in the annex. I don't even remember at this point. I lied. I do remember. I got some awesome patterns. Let me pause. We'll do a nice little transition of some sort. I'm gonna go find those. And we're back. You'll have to forgive me. Like I said, StitchCon was so long ago, and all I know is that I didn't have new starts, and I'm fairly sure I didn't get any fabric either. So like, it was small things. Not that I don't appreciate. And by small, I just mean patterns, which are not actually small. But I fell in love with the Erin Elizabeth designs while I was at StitchCon, and my mom decided to buy me pretty patterns that I really, really liked. So we're gonna go through those. I loved the bee tier because I am very basic and everybody loves honeybees right now. And you know what? So do I. So this is beautiful. Love it. Love it. I also got the bee farm because, like I said, bees. This is so cute. This is so cute. Like, this is, I don't know, this is like nursery cute to me. I don't know. It's so cute. Love it. And then I am, in fact, a cat person. I'm a cat person at heart, so I also got the cat tier because adorable. This is freaking adorable. You know what? This might be really cute on that fabric that got sent to me because I think all of these colors will pop on that purple. Anyways. So I got all of those. That's super cool. I have to remember to put all of my patterns into my little online program that I use. Into my Notion. There we go. I can remember words. So anyways, that was StitchCon related haul things. With the caveat that I participated in the Smalls Exchange and I did win a raffle basket, guys. I won a raffle basket. Never in my life have I won something in a raffle, so that was cool. We can actually do the raffle basket right here just because it's on top of my pile of things. the way that the raffle baskets this year worked is you got to buy your tickets and then designate them towards certain items, which I think was really cool because there were certain things that I definitely was way less interested in. So I liked knowing that my chances were going towards something that if I got it, I'd be excited about it, rather than something that I probably would figure it out or I would use it, but like not something I'd be thrilled about. So I will be popping some pictures in of like the official raffle basket. I took some really nice pictures before I went home from StitchCon. I did enter in a couple of raffle baskets. I did not just hedge all my bets on one, but this was the one that I put most of my tickets towards. For those of you that don't know, the owner of Keepsakes lives somewhere where they keep bees. So like the honey is theirs, fresh honey. There's some like wax in there for thread coating. There was a lot of other really fun stuff, but in addition to all of that cool stuff, they also gave me the Heart and Hand Tiny Town honey. Tiny Town? That's like, all of these are made to be able to be finished into a little drum or some other way. I think that I'd like to finish it into a drum. I think that's really cute. But they also included all of the fancy floss for that project. So that on its own. Plus that honey, I mean, guys, have you bought fresh honey? Worth what, I mean, like, the money is all donated to a charity. There's fantastic charities. Like, it's worth it regardless, but like, I very much feel I recouped. So that was extra nifty. So won a raffle basket. That's cool. Then fun times from the Smalls Exchange. Guys, I love the Smalls. I like to stitch to make gifts. It's something that I really enjoy. I have gotten exceptionally lucky both of my Smalls Exchanges because I was fully thrilled with the gift that I received. I think that it's fun to participate regardless. I know that sometimes you might end up with something that's not to your taste or whatever. To me, the joy is in giving something that somebody else will hopefully enjoy, and then if it's something that speaks to me, that's extra super cool, and if it's not, then it's something that somebody else wanted to put time and energy in to give as a gift. So that's my overall view on Smalls Exchanges, but I also got so lucky. I do have, I'm pretty sure, something in one of my other videos about what I got last year, I think. Maybe not. But this year, for those that don't know how the Smalls Exchange works at StitchCon, you are supposed to wrap your package themed. So like the people who pick Christmas things have it really easy because you just wrap with Christmas paper or something else. 4th of July tends to be pretty easy to tell too because like there's a lot of red, white, and blue like patriotic tissue paper. Everything else is always like a little bit, I mean, like Halloween vibes tend to be really easy to pick up. But it's hard personally for me because like Halloween has such a varied like typecast. Like, is it scary? Is it like cutesy? Is it mostly fall, autumnal? But so like the way that people decide to wrap their gifts is super duper fun. I'm going to put in some photos of what I gave. Now, I did not technically keep my Smalls a secret. I am a teeny tiny creator, and I never said that these were for my Smalls Exchange. I just said that I was making them. So these will be familiar to you because they're things that I finished. I did a Halloween themed gift. So again, for those of you that have been here, you have seen, you know, my tiny little frog and a pumpkin and my little tiny little ghost and my cute little stamp, which is one of the stamps that I got from that company. Because it happens in June, I missed the Halloween gift bag season. I forgot to grab one during Halloween. I picked out the gifts like in July, and then I missed the Halloween season to buy the bag. I meant to buy a bag in Halloween and I didn't. So, rather than just like drawing on one or like just getting like a purple one and like whatever, I really wanted it to be obvious that it was like cutesy Halloween, not like any of those other types of Halloween. So I went on Redbubble and I bought a bag with a really cute Halloween print because like it's a nice little tote and somebody will use it. So I was not required, just what I wanted to do. So I had that, and then I had all of these cute little goodies that I did get like post Halloween season because discounts, baby. So like fun little goodies to go inside, which again, not required for the Smalls Exchange. Something that a lot of people choose to do, just so you're aware, but not required. Nobody expects it, and anybody who does can just get over themselves because it's not required. So that's the gift that I made. My gift was snatched up. Oh, where did I write this down? Right here. My gift got snatched up by Emma Kay over at the Carolina Stitchers. For anybody who watches them, she did show off the stitched pieces in one of their videos recapping StitchCon. I need to go watch them. It's been on my to-do list since I came back from StitchCon, but then I got so busy and I was catching up on my normal people, and then I stopped stitching and watching floss tubes. So, anyways, Emma Kay over at the Carolina Stitchers, her Instagram, if you want to follow her over on Instagram, is Levia Stitches, Leyva Stitches. She just had a baby, so she's got a cute little picture of her baby over there. But thrilled. She was so excited. I saw her, we hugged. We did not get a picture, at least that I got a copy of. Anyways, that was who my gift went to. The gift that I took. So the whole reason I gave you this nice little spiel on the bags is because I stare. The way that the way that it works is you get a raffle chip and they're numbered, and they call the numbers in like groups of 10, and you go up and you grab. So I sit and stare at the table, and I kind of like pick out the ones that I'd be interested in. I do pick a couple because I try really hard to make sure that like I'm not like that was the one I wanted. I mean, like I might think it internally, but I want to have a couple that I'm excited about. And I got so lucky because I was so excited about this bag. I went that. I said, and this is how simple the wrapping can be. This was a great idea. Loved this. I was like that. And I'll tell you what, I was a little focused on this one. Somebody picked it up and I got pretty sad. And then they put it back and I got really excited. So very excited about this. So I got this. I was thrilled. I got it. So, I got, like I said, cute little goodies because sometimes they come with goodies. I got this beautiful holographic sticker that I have been waiting. It'll probably go in my sticker book. I don't have a spot for it yet, although I am thinking about getting a new water bottle soon, and maybe it'll go in that. But I haven't put it away because I've been waiting to show you guys. Similarly, I got some counting pins, which are really cool because this person clearly made these counting pins or bought whoever made them. They're on like really big tapestry needles. Like instead of being like an actual sharp pen, it's a tapestry needle, so you're less likely to poke yourself, but they're just like big tapestry needles, which is nifty, I think. And then they're dangly, so, oh, yeah, there we go. You can see it's sparkly and it's got a little moth on it. That one's a lot easier to focus, at least a little bit. So, really thrilled about those. Also have not put them in my bag of counting pens because I've been like, gotta wait. So now here we are at the beautiful piece that I got. First off, caveat. StitchCon gifts are 6 inches. Finished dimensions, which you can wiggle around by like doing it on bigger counts. That's what I personally do because I really like to make big pieces. Or like I made 3 things, as you saw, and the way that I explained that away is that if you calculate the stitched area of a 6x6 square piece, I didn't stitch any more than that. Not required. That's just the limit to try to make sure that nobody feels upset or puts way too much work into it. If you decide to and know that you're gifting that from a place of goodness and kindness, nobody's going to come after you. So this looks a little large. That's because it is. The really fun part about this, beyond the fact that it's beautiful, exceptionally my style, I cannot wait to hang it up, probably on that wall that you can't see because that's an empty wall that can probably have a lot of really fun art hanging on it. Stitch pieces, some other things that we have. Beyond the fact that I love it and adore it, the person who submitted this, I have her name written down. I have to go find it. Her name is Emily. She is on Instagram as twin_stitcher. So definitely check her out if that's something that you'd like to do. She is a teacher in the Ohio region. I do not remember where at this time. Plus, we're not weird about sharing personal information. Anyways, teaches in Ohio. Teaches young-ish children. I think middle to high school age. She started a cross-stitch club at school and taught people how to cross-stitch. And they had a great time. And she was telling them about StitchCon when she got into StitchCon, and they were all very excited, and they were like, what do you do at StitchCon? And then so she's like reading through the events and like talking about the stuff, and then she's like, and there's a smalls exchange, and they're like, oh my gosh, are you gonna do the smalls exchange? And she's like, I don't know. They're like, can we do the smalls exchange? So she picked out a design and then like helped do the outlining, and then like the kids in her cross stitch club like filled in sections of this project, which like, first off, their stitching is like really good for like A, first time stitchers, and B, like middle school, high school students, because like I have pieces from when I was that age and it's not this good. But also like the joy in my heart from having so many people put love and attention into this, and like sharing the craft, and like, can we participate in the smalls exchange? That's so cute, guys. So I can't wait to put it on my wall. I have to paint. The painting is coming, but I am so excited. Hi all. This is post-recording, but not even editing, Spencer here, to say that I realized, as I'm putting away all of my stuff, that I told you during Eeveelutions Corner I would explain why Hallie was in my group of shoutouts during my StitchCon recap, and then forgot to mention why Hallie was in my shoutouts in my StitchCon recap. So here I am to right that wrong. I'm going to pop this right in, assuming that I can split my yapping mouth to that video, so it should be disjointed, but in the appropriate spot based off of context. At worst, it'll be at the end of my video, just to make sure that it gets covered for those of you who are interested, and because it needs to be said. Hallie and one of her good friends, plus I'm sure people that she meets regularly at StitchCon, was at StitchCon Weekend Be My Weekend. I, as a baby little floss tuber, was trying very hard to go out and network a little bit, see some people that I knew, although I didn't know a lot, because like I said, I'm not always great about watching floss tubes, and it had been a hectic time. But Hallie is one of the people that I know. I've been watching her for a while. I think she's phenomenal. I was really excited to get to meet her. I had little floss drops. I was taking them around all the tables, although I was in my boots, so I was walking slow and I was breaking the day up. Plus, I wanted to stitch some. Alas, I had yet to meet Hallie. It was on my list of things to do. It was Smalls Exchange Day. I did my smalls exchange, I met with the person that got mine, I met with the person who made mine, it's a whole thing. And I look over, because my mom participated in the smalls exchange this year. She didn't last year, but she did this year. I helped her finish her project. We talk about our stuff all the time. She picked out a cute little ornament that said joy in the center. If I have photos, I'll put some photos up of either the finished project or the design or whatever I've got, I'll be popping up. So it was this really cute project. She picked it up, I'm pretty sure, at Keepsakes, but she actually did a conversion on it. Not that she would use any of these words, but she did. She picked out the colors. These were not called for colors. Stitched it all up on her own. Anytime she had questions, we chatted. It was a whole thing. So she finished the stitching. She did all of that by herself, and she knew what she wanted to do. She had this really pretty glass jar, and like I said, I don't think I have finished photos of this, but this really pretty glass jar. She wanted to put the piece on the lid, and she wanted to fill the jar with like twinkle lights. And it's Christmas adjacent. It's a Christmas ornament, but it's not like super like Santa Claus Christmassy. So she was just worried about how to best achieve that. And I'm one of those strange people that for whatever reason, despite not having done anything, sometimes I actually jump in with 2 feet. I don't go in it going, this is going to be the best thing ever. But like, I'm like, we can get started. Let's go. It's how I taught myself how to crochet all those blankets I've done. Alas. So we met up for a stitchy weekend. We try a couple times a year to meet up and just hang out for a girls' weekend. She found a really nice B&B outside of Chicago. It's outside of Rockford, and it's a good midway point for the 2 of us. So like we both drive there and we meet up, and it was a bear. Because I was in my boot, I was completely non-weight bearing. I wasn't allowed to use my foot at all. It was freshly healed from surgery. It was a whole thing. Anyways, so she brought her project. She had finished it, but she hadn't fully finished it. She didn't know what to do. And we were doing a lot of other things. She was helping me sew some stethoscope covers. We were doing some other sewing. So plus, we were hanging out and we went, I talked about it. I talked about that trip in my last video. I don't think I put pictures in then. Regardless, you just get to see it again. So I helped her finish the top. She went to go rest at some point and she's like, do you feel comfortable doing this? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So like I had some cardboard, I had some like poof stuff, and I just stitched around the back to pull it into that cinch for the circle, the way that you do. And then I laced it some to try to keep it even, all of those things. So, and then we just like attached it, like glued it onto the top, with the cardboard backing onto the top of the lid. And then she had this like random, like velveteen, like, stuff and some rope. And she was like, I think this should go around the outside. And I was like, yeah. And then I helped cut down that. And like, we made this really, it's beautiful. I'm really proud of how it came out. Like this really nice little lid. And like I said, she took it. I probably have some pictures of like the lid. I'm pretty confident. I don't have any pictures of it like filled with the really cute twinkle lights. I think she put some like ribbon in there, and she got the nice twinkle lights that come with a little remote control. So like the person who got it could like have the remote control out if they wanted to be able to turn the lights on and off without having to actually like go plug things in or like hit switches or whatever. So she put that on the table. And of course, this is her first year. She's really nervous that nobody will want to have it, or the person who gets it isn't going to love it. It's scary anytime you put something up there. I understand that. So I didn't see who grabbed hers. I saw that hers got grabbed, because I was worried about that while I was watching. Not that it's a phenomenal gift. It's just, you don't always know that when you're looking at the wrapping. And plus it's each person's vibes. Is there enough people out there who want something Christmassy that's going to grab one of the Christmas themed gifts? I'm not a super big 4th of July patriotic kind of person. I don't want to choose the ones that are themed that way, because that tends to just not be my style. So it's just, maybe the group's not suited towards her. So I saw that it got grabbed, but I did not see by who. I was really excited for her. We're doing the little shmoo shindig at the end where, you meet everybody and you talk, and I look over and my mom is talking. And she's talking to Hallie from Stitchin' Big Things with Hallie. And I'm like, holy crap. That's exciting. I didn't know whether she got the one that Hallie made or whether or not she gave and Hallie got hers. But I was so excited. So I went over and barged into their conversation. I'm like, hi, I'm her daughter. You're Hallie. And they had been talking about me, because that's what parents do. So plus I helped make the gift, so I think that they were talking, but Hallie got my mom's smalls exchange, which, like I said, I think it was done phenomenally. I'm really proud of all the work that mom put into it, of all of the ideas. I was really happy to help her finish. And Hallie was really excited. So that was really cool. She talked about it in one of her videos after StitchCon forever and ever ago. Like I said, this is October, but here we are. And she was so nice in person. She seems nice on the videos, but most people hopefully seems nice on the videos. She was so nice in person. She sat and talked to us after the smalls exchange, and then she came over to our table and talked to us some more. And we kind of led some similar lives. We lived in similar areas. her husband was going to school at University of University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, which is where I went to vet school, you know, and then she moved up towards Minnesota because her husband had a residency up here at the Mayo. So like we've lived in similar places many years apart. Her kids, like, she has kids who are close to my age, give or take. So like she was able to talk to mom about what it's like raising kids. Like it was so much fun. We had such a great time. She was so super nice. Like I said, she talked about both my channel and she said such nice things about my mom's gift, and her recap. And I mean, like, I was always going to tag her eventually because I love watching her stuff and it's nice to give a fun little shout out, but it was so cool getting to meet her in person, getting to she is such a wonderful human being. So, and then when I realized I hadn't recorded any of this because I really just wanted to get this video filmed so my notes were not very detailed, and I got away from my notes towards the end because I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to forget anything. Alas, I did. But here we are fixing that. Now, hopefully, back to the regularly scheduled program, because hopefully I was able to just slide this right in to that section of the video. Thanks. So that's my StitchCon recap. I do actually have one other thing of haul to talk about, and then we'll jump into crochet and then life stuff. My haul, for those of you who aren't aware, because I didn't talk about it a lot this video, one of my favorite designers ever is Taylor and Cromwell. I did have one piece, the Outlander Bookshelf by them earlier. They do mystery boxes, guys. I put everything from the mystery box in here, but like their mystery boxes are themed. This is the Princess Bride mystery box. They always come with at least one pattern design that is fully kitted. It comes with the fabric. It comes with all of the floss. The pattern, obviously, sometimes the needle, that's the part I can never remember. At least one of them that I've received has had a needle on it. I just always have needles, so I just like toss it in with my needles. Anyways, so one project fully kitted. And then all of the ones that I have received so far, personally, have come with some extra patterns. Like they're not all kitted, but like, here's these patterns that are in this theme if that's something that you'd like to work on. And then typically like some other like stitchy accoutrement that is themed to the gift, to what it is. So like I did one that was Tamara Pierce themed. So like it had scissor fobs. It had, that one actually came with like a book sleeve that I used to keep my tablet that I have my pattern keeper on. And then that one came with a ton of patterns along with the kit. This one came with this kit, which this is the only picture that I have of the pattern. I just haven't, I have the whole thing downloaded, but this is what I've got available. So I think that this is really cute. I really, really like it. I apologize for the crinkles. I did not open this beforehand because I didn't want to lose everything. And part of this will be like experiencing what this came with, because I kind of forget. A cute little scissor fob, like I said, and like they use big lobster claw scissor fobs, so like you can put them on like a bigger pair of scissors, which is really nice. And it has a rodent of unusual size on the bottom, guys. It's got a tiny little rat. So cute little scissor fob, love it. And like they hand make like all of the stuff that comes with it. Like the one that I have that has the I had one that came with like a little bag that I keep all my counting pins, and I actually have two that came with bags. So I keep like all my counting pins in one, and I keep other stuff in another one. It's like cute little bags. Floss for the kit. Fabric is typically just Ada. The We're 6 project that I'm working on is also one of the kits from one of these. I did not sign up for that one, but I got it on a freebie table at StitchCon last year. Love it. So that was black Ada, but it's typically black or white Ada with a high count. This does come with a needle. There's a needle up here for those of you who missed it. And in case any of you guys decide to buy one of these and you're silly like me, by the way, the pattern linked on the back. which I'm going to edit over so nobody like tries to like awkwardly use my link. But I literally emailed the designers and we're like, where's the pattern? There's a sticker on the back with the download link. And these patterns are typically available for purchase a little while after the months that they release in. So like if you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, I love that, I want it. Most of the time they're available on their website, so you should check it out. But like this also came with this cute little stitching journal that also comes with a ton of patterns in here. So like there's fun little quotes. But like there's also like cute little projects. Like this book is full of patterns, and like they said, it's a stitching journal. So like you can put projects in, you can put pictures. So it's so fun. And I'm so excited to one day work on some of these things. You know, great quotes from the movie. And you know, it's Princess Bride. So anybody who knows that it's highly quotable. This is the Battle of Wits quotate. Like it is the whole thing quoted out. It's covered by some moss in some spots, but like it's the whole thing. Which again, as a fan of the movie, it's pretty great. So there's all of these quotes, all of these patterns. So if you like this type of style of pattern or any of the other ones that I've shown you, because like I said, lots of Taylor and Cromwell in my WIP pile. Or check out their website and see if it's to your style. I highly recommend that you check out their list of mystery boxes. And if something speaks to you, that you purchase it. A lot of times if there's a couple, they'll like run like a discount. So like I'm pretty sure I signed up for 3. I'm pretty sure I signed up for 3, and I can't even tell you which ones I've got. I've gotten, I think 2 of this year, so maybe I have another one coming, maybe, I don't remember. But you get to pick, like you don't have to do them in a row. You get to pick the ones that speak to you. And like I said, they're phenomenal. They have had great service for me anytime that I've ever had any questions or concerns or anything else. So good people. They're good people, and I personally really like their designs. So I'm going to talk about them all the time. Somehow, despite the fact that I didn't have a lot of progress, I have still made this video already 1 hour and 17 minutes. So let us wrap it up. Crochet! I will be posting some pictures of the finished project. I finished the blanket. It's so big, I can't even really photograph it in one photo. Like the bed that is in those photos is my king-size bed upstairs in our bedroom. It is so big and fluffy and at least 10 pounds because it's solid. And the recipient loves it. She loves it. She is an always cold person, and we live in Minnesota. She hails from Wisconsin, so it's not even like she came from somewhere warm. It's just, she's cold and she loves blankets. And her husband may have made fun of her a little bit when she took it home, but she doesn't care because she wraps up in it. When she has a hard day, she like stands up and then she like spins around like a little burrito, and then she's like fully curled up underneath it and lays on the couch. So that's exactly how it needs to be used. And her tiny little human that she has, when she wants to snuggle, will come snuggle with her under the weight of the blanket. She has her own very soft blanket she likes to be underneath, which like, I get you, girl. Give me that soft blanket any day. But then sometimes you need that weight. And then she gets it from the weight of this blanket. So I will not be crocheting for a little while. I'm a little crocheted out. One day. I'll crochet again one day. And then life. For those of you who want to stick around and hear about what's been going on in my life, you are welcome to. For those of you who do not want us to stick around, hopefully I'll see you again soon. Come hang out in any of the places I'm at if I ever actually hang out. But life updates for those of you. I am healing fantastically. Out of a boot, have been for a while, walking around pretty darn normally, did PT for quite a while. It bugs me sometimes still. My foot is still a little bit swollen, so I have yet to be able to wear all of the shoes that I own, but that's going well. In the middle of StitchCon, I had the opportunity, an opening for a job in a slightly new position became available. So there was a frantic rush in the middle of StitchCon of, do I even apply? I mean, like, I had already previously applied. That's why they contacted me. They're like, we have your application and a position has become available. And we're like, oh, really? Because I had been out for 2 months and I had just been going back to work, and it was a whole thing. But I was like, well, may as well follow through and at least see what's available. So that was a whole fun time at StitchCon, managing, things, getting references submitted, doing interviews while I was at home with my family, getting offers, and then trying to decide whether or not I wanted to proceed with them, with the knowledge that it's a competitive position. So it fills quickly. I had some timeline things that I had to work out, but I did end up accepting that new position. So then I had to come back and put in my notice at my current place of employment. I'm no longer employed there. I did go ahead and finish out. I start training at the new job tomorrow. I had a goodbye little brunch with people from my previous clinic today, and obviously I'm not like ghosting. I'm gonna swing by. I'm gonna stay in contact. There's sadness but no true hurt feelings about it. Everybody's excited about my new opportunities. So there's been that, and then it's, like getting everything together for starting a new job, and like there's a different uniform, and there's supplies that need to be delivered, and so it's been like kind of a crazy fun time with that. Hopefully it's going to allow me a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more downtime to, maybe get some of the stitching done, to focus on some of my other goals that I have, work on the house. We've had this house for over 2 years now, and like we've had paint, I think, since the first summer, and we haven't painted yet. We did get most of the deck done. There's some touch-up spots that need to be taken care of, but like, we weren't using the basement space a lot, and I'm hoping that we can, revitalize it to a place that we're going to be using. My parents are graciously giving us some money at IKEA to help like get some shelving units. So like that empty wall you can see over there in the corner that like stretches like in towards my kitchen, and it's just empty space. We literally have random things stacked against the wall right now, and by we I mean me. That's my crafting supplies you can see piled up over there. So we're gonna get some like cabinets and some shelves to kind of like store that stuff a little bit better. We need to paint first, but we've got that on the docket. We've got Zoom memberships that I'm excited to go use. So there's just been a lot of changes. We're very excited, but we're figuring it out. I still don't have my schedule firmly hammered down. We talked about it many months ago when I was first being offered the position about what my preferences would be, and they haven't really changed, but nobody's like confirmed that what I asked for is going to happen. So we're figuring that all out with training this week. It's been an exciting time with lots of changes. We've got some hosting. We had my brother and sister-in-law moved up in Minnesota way. They're up in Duluth earlier this summer. It was late summer, but earlier than now. They're going to come down. We're going to host them a couple of times. They're going to hang out around the cities. They've got a couple of things. My brother-in-law has some knowledge and degrees with like forestry and like plants, and they're going to, my husband and I are not plant people, so help us clean up like our flower beds and tell us what weeds are so we can know we can get rid of them and what to replant to actually have some nice growth out there. So they're going to come down and help out with that. My parents and my sister and her partner are coming up for Thanksgiving, so we're going to be hosting for that. Like I said, I've got friends around the area that I try to hang out with. Got lots of stuff coming up, but that's my life in a nutshell update. Like I said, I appreciate so much all of you who decided to stick around this long, anybody who wanted to come join and see what's been going on with my life. I very much appreciate it. Those of you who may not be watching this until months from now because you decide to get a really big list of people that you watch and you get around to them eventually. It's nice to hear from you too. I hope wherever you are, whenever you are having a fantastic day, or that this time has brought you some comfort and some peace, that you get the opportunity to spend some time doing the things that you enjoy, whether they be crafting, whether they be consuming media, whether they be doing anything else. Go forward, share light. I look forward to seeing you again whenever that might be. Thanks.